Mr. Toastmaster, by a raise of hands, who is a speaker in this room? I've got a problem with speakers. They disappoint me. And I'm saying so as a speaker myself. Speakers disappoint me because often they tell people what they want to hear as opposed to what they need to hear. Often we lie to people as speakers. And I submit to you that that is the reason why we've got businesses tumbling on a downward spiral. That is the reason why we've got politicians who insist on the title, honorable. And yet if honor were a person, you'd probably sue the politician for defamation. And so today I propose we tell each other the truth. Today I propose we confront the truth head on. And what is the truth that faces us as a nation? The truth is that this teapot-shaped country of ours is suffering. The truth is that there's a lady somewhere who cannot make rent because the landlord demands rent in foreign currency, and yet the concept of currency is foreign to the lady. And so there is need, ladies and gentlemen, for a message that is suited for a day such as this one, a message that is tailored for hard times, and I'm here to give it. And in so doing, I'm going to posit 4 simple nuggets, 4 pieces of advice that I believe that if we follow, we are going to be on the right track and the right trajectory. So I shall, Mr. Toastmaster. The first tip I have to leave today is stop living for likes. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a social media generation where perception is everything. And I submit for those less witted than the people in this room. It is a generation that has learned to measure success by the standards and strategies that are formulated by a world that is bent on driving materialism down your throat. It is a generation, Mr. Toastmaster and noble audience, that has mastered the art of forcing you to live beyond your means simply because you want to make an impression. So if you are going to survive these depressing times, my advice is you stop living for likes. I remember giving a keynote somewhere, and I asked a very simple question. It's a question that I'm inclined to ask tonight. And that question is, whose shoes? Because more often than not, people want to fit into shoes that are not theirs, simply because from a distance, those shoes look shiny. So I'm going to pose a question, whose shoes? In the world of politics, people emulate the man that Barack Hussein Obama is. Yes, we can, and many other high-sounding political slogans have dominated media. And yet, when you take an in-depth, microscopic analysis into the life of Barack Hussein Obama, you will learn that at one point in his life, he could not go for a day without less than 25 cigarettes. A chain smoker. So do you still want to be in Barack's shoes? If not, whose shoes? The world of sport will tell you about a man acclaimed for his prowess in the sport of golf, Tiger Woods. And yet we all know of the scandal that Tiger Woods faced with the many women who were claiming many things ranging from abusive relationships, to suppression in relationships. Do you still want to be in Tiger's shoes? And if not, whose shoes? The bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, is we need to start mastering a culture where we feel comfortable in our own shoes. And it is more imminent for that to happen now rather than later. The second tip I want to leave today in the interest of time is, for crying out loud, let's relax, it's a passing phase. And this phrase has been thrown around in churches. You hear it on many forums. But what does it mean to say it's a passing phase? I submit to you that it has 2 meanings, and people have only been fed one. The one you know, the one you and I know, the one we talk about every day when we comfort each other on the streets, is that it's a phase that is soon to pass. But the one that is least spoken about is that during that phase, that difficult time, you're going to face tests, trials, and temptations, and you better pass, baby. The third thing that I want to tell you is the gold is in the dust. So when you sift through the dust, you will find the gold. My brothers and sisters who've been to the far remote places of Chinoi and Kadoma will tell you about Amakorokoza. This is a group of people who go to look for gold in the most impossible situations. And that is the spirit we need to endanger in gender, if we are going to have a prosperous and auspicious future, Mr. Toastmaster. So the gold is in the dust. You will hear stories 5 years from now about people who made a fortune by selling gas stoves. And mind you, whilst we are on that energy note, I think the reason why Africa is called the dark continent is because of Zimbabwe. And I say that with the highest level of reverence and deference to my country. But what is the fourth and final thing I have to tell you today? The fourth and final thing I have to tell you is maintain grace under pressure. A story is told about Captain Sally Sullenberger, the miracle on the Hudson. He was flying a Boeing at 42,000 feet. We are talking of a 132-ton beast in the air. And then suddenly, because of a bird strike, he lost momentum. His plane began to tumble at an astonishing speed of 2,000. It began to lose momentum at an astonishing speed of 2,000 knots per minute. What did he do under pressure? He collected himself. He gathered his wits, and he was able to perform the miracle that is now known widely as the miracle on the Hudson. So this message is for the father who doesn't know what to do because his family is looking to him as a hero, and yet he's out of ideas. It's for the lady who's failing to make rent this month. The man who's at his wit's end because he cannot get a job. And for those that do get a job, the job cannot pay him enough to keep coming back to the job. It's for the Zimbabwean, a person of resilience, a person who can stand up to turmoil, look it in the eye, and maintain grace under pressure. And it's for the Toastmaster, who for the stage that he shall confront, the stage that she shall confront, she shall be able not only to maintain grace under pressure, but to dare to tell the truth, even when it hurts. Let's keep walking the talk.